Hi, welcome to the bonus edition of Simplify. This is Marta speaking. You don't know my voice yet because I'm usually behind the scenes, but I've been producing Simplify since the start of Season 7. And no worries, Caitlin and Ben will be back in Season 8. I'm here just to give you company in the meantime. Anyway, you might not know that at Blinkist, which is where Simplify is made, we are savage when it comes to editing. We sacrifice a lot of things for the sake of clarity of the interview's ideas. But this also means that there is so much we end up cutting out that we love. In storytelling, they often refer to this practice as kill your darlings. And on one hand, I feel privileged because I get to eavesdrop on the full conversations, which, by the way, usually last about an hour. And then I get to choose which darlings to keep. But on the other hand, of course, it means that I need to choose which not to keep as well. And sometimes these parts keep haunting me weeks after a certain episode is published. So here's the plan. In between seasons, we will be releasing some of these snippets that we can't stop thinking about, but it didn't end up in the published episodes. The first one is from the interview with a psychotherapist and expert on the search for intimacy, Ken Page, with whom he covered the main concepts from his book Deeper Dating, How to Drop the Games of Seduction and Discover the Power of Intimacy. And whether you're looking for love or you found love but want to deepen and nourish through intimacy, I highly recommend this episode. It's probably my favorite episode of Season 7. But there was one thing that didn't end up in the episode which Ken really wanted to share. It's a powerful imagination exercise called the inner mentor process, and it will help you bypass your inner critic and get a message from the bravest, highest, fullest version of yourself.
Remember the you that you feel when you're comfortable in your own skin and you're really kind of in your zone, and then you picture an even more unfolded version, like an older self, like a wiser, more evolved self, that full-on essence of you self. You imagine that you are in that being. And in a way, it's pure imagination, but in a way, it's not, because it's you, and you know what that you tastes like. This full-on, beautiful, flowing, integrated, alive, brave you, unfolded you. You step into that you. And from this place, you think, what words of guidance do I want to call out from here to the me of today? And then that becomes your daily meditation. And it's breathtaking how that the more that you do it, the more you become that person. Because mentorship works because we internalize the being who is our mentor. So that's the inner mentor process. It will guide you in a wonderful way if you do it on a regular basis.
We asked Ken if we could play the original tape from his podcast Deeper Dating, and he said yes. So in a moment, Ken will guide you through the inner mentor process. You will need a paper and pen or a phone to write down notes or speak into. The practice will take you about 15 to 20 minutes, and it will help you connect with your inner mentor and then get a message from that beautiful place. All right. Over to Ken. Hope you enjoyed.
So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to close your eyes now. Get comfortable, get cozy. Take a breath or two. Good. Just relax. And I'm going to ask you to picture some things, and I want to say to you, don't worry about picturing them perfectly. You could picture them generally, you could picture them vaguely, you could go in and out of connectedness and attention. Don't worry, because when you just get little glimpses, that's going to be enough. So I'd like you to start out by picturing a time in your life when a really good sense of love was flowing through you. I want you to not use a memory that kind of ended in a betrayal or a really bad situation, one that you can go back to with a good feeling inside. But just remember a time that love was kind of streaming in you. It could be with another person. It could be with a pet. It could be a spiritual experience. It doesn't matter. Just remember that time. Remember how good that felt? How you felt at that moment. How it felt in your body. You don't have to cling too hard to this. You could just let it flow like a beautiful breeze that you feel that comes and goes. But just remember that experience of feeling so connected to love. And now I'd like you to think about a time that you felt really connected to yourself, really deeply free and comfortable in your own being. Whatever that memory is, just give yourself time to remember it. Imperfectly is fine. That fabulous feeling of being comfortable in your own skin, of being good with you, of liking you. That great feeling, just remember that. How that feels in your body, how that felt in your body. And now I'm going to ask you to just hold those with pleasure. And we're going to move to another memory. I want you to think about feeling loved by someone. And again, someone with whom ultimately you did not feel kind of betrayed. A memory that can still feel like a good memory. Maybe a pet, maybe a grandparent, a loved one, a child, a spiritual figure. But a time that you just felt loved. I want you to remember that. How it felt to have the pores of your heart so open. How good it felt. And think of maybe one person who has loved you like that and how good it has felt to be loved like that. Just take a minute and thank that person for loving you like that. Now think of another person, or a pet, or a spiritual figure. Let yourself just kind of bask for a moment in the memory of being loved, being seen and being loved like that. Don't worry if your memories are imperfect. Don't worry if they were short. Don't worry if you weren't even able to get some of these memories at all. Because my guess is that something in these little questions that I asked did come up for you. And just let yourself feel warmed by that. By those memories. And now, what I'd like you to do, here we go now, moving into the inner mentor process. I want you to imagine the you that you feel you're meant to be. The you on the other side of the glass ceilings of fear and unworthiness. A you who can love. A you who's good in your own skin. A you who's full of love, creativity. The you that you are meant to be you. The you that you're meant to be, kind of you fully alive. Now you don't have to be this self. All I want you to do is picture it. That's all. Picture that you. Fully you, alive you, loving you, peaceful you, the you you're meant to be. And just take a look at this image, like you might notice even what you're wearing or where you are, how you're standing. And now look at your face and look at what your face reflects when you're in this beautiful space. Look at what your face reflects. Look at what your eyes show, what your face shows. And now imagine what it's like to be in your skin, living this way. This you who's unafraid to be you, to live as you. Just picture what it's like to be in your skin. Not afraid to express yourself, not afraid to believe in yourself. And now, what I want you to do is I want you to just imagine that you jump into the skin of that you. Now, you don't have to earn it. You don't have to become it. It's a fantasy. You just imagine, give yourself the gift of just imagining you're there right now, because it's you anyway. It's the you you're meant to be. So just imagine that all of a sudden you are that you. You give yourself the gift of being that you. Just enjoy that for a moment. And now, what I want you to do is to, from this place of being your own inner mentor, being this evolved you, this older brother, older sister, more evolved self, I want you to look at the you of today, sitting here right now, striving, caring about growth, longing to grow, longing to find and have deeper love. Look at that you of today. And from this vantage point of being this full you, think, what do I most want to say to that me, the me of today? From the vantage point of your inner mentor, this wonderful self, look at the you of today and think, what do I most want to tell her? What do I most want to say to him? What does she most need to hear from me now? What matters most? And now I want you to take your paper and pen and write to yourself and just let it flow. Be this self as if you're channeling it and just write whatever comes. And the more raw and the more flowing and the more risky what you write is, the more wisdom it's going to be filled with. So just write from the guts. And you can pause the podcast here, and you can just take some time to write. Okay, good. So now, what I'd like you to do is come back to you and just imagine thanking this inner mentor and allowing yourself to feel this inner mentor join with you so you're together. And just look at what you wrote. And here's what I want to tell you. You do not need to look for the next guru's message or the next wise person's message. What you've got in your hands right here is your next step. It's like you've climbed the mountaintop. It happened to have been right there inside you all along, and you've gotten true wisdom. The question is, are you willing to follow it? And what I'd like you to do is to have that be your daily meditation for today, whatever it is. Now, you're not going to follow it perfectly. or anywhere near perfectly. But that's not your goal. Your goal is just to remember this message during the day and to love it and to enjoy it, to savor it. Do this and do it regularly, and you will become groomed for your own greatness. Day by day, step by step, you are going to become closer and closer to that inner mentor, the person you long to be. And let me just say a few things about this. One thing is, I do not know how this works, but there is some way that you bypass the circuitry of inner criticism. And if you look at what you wrote, it was probably filled with warmth and kindness and love. It's an amazing thing because, for example, I'm not so good at giving myself a break. But every day when I do this process, I give myself a break. It's like I tune into a good parent that I have a very hard time curating and creating for myself in normal day-to-day life. But doing this process, I somehow do. There's a kindness and a gentleness, and there's a bypassing of the inner critic that is just exquisite. Somehow this exercise helps you find the good and go with the good. Some days when you do this process, you're going to get messages that are pretty salty or pretty intense. Other days, they'll be very gentle. Sometimes you may get the same message again and again and again and again. All of those things are wonderful. You just follow the process wherever it leads you. I know someone who sometimes gets fashion advice. This inner mentor will say, "Wear your boots today." I know stories of people who were told, "Go for a walk," and met someone when they went for that walk who was really important to them. I know that for myself, doing this process, I have been guided to insights and actions that in a million years I never would have thought of, that changed the course of my life. So this is an exercise of self-empowerment in the purest form. It is an exercise that will teach you how to love others and how to love yourself, and it will help groom you to become the person that you dream of being. It's like those daily meditation books. This is your daily meditation. And I want to encourage you to do this. Now, you don't have to do this long process. You could be sitting on the subway and close your eyes for 1 minute, picture your inner mentor and say, what does she have to say? What does he have to say? And almost always you're going to get a response. And that response is going to be filled with an earthy wisdom that is tailor-made for you.
So, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this exercise and that you feel inspired. Thank you to Ken Page for letting us use the original. For more context on this, you can find the full episode on the Deeper Dating podcast. It's episode 3. In that feed, you can also find a lot of other episodes with tips, questions, and exercises like this that you can immediately apply in your intimacy journey. Till next time, I'm Marta Medvešek, and thanks for listening to this bonus episode of Simplify, brought to you by Blinkist.